got the rugby.
Ready,
expert.
set. Hey, we
Engage.
must
Touch,
pause.
engage.
We used to enjoy the touch pause. They took out the pause.
By the way, I went to one rugby practice, and his name is Ian McNocha, on my 20-year anniversary of graduating high school, which
was 20 years ago.
20 years ago, and I did my best, and I just made it. I go to my first rugby practice. Now I'm here. I'm Disky. I'm here.
Sure.
I'm here. But this boy wipes me the fuck out, my friend. I wake up. I didn't know what happened. I said, listen, rugby is not for me. I'll be friends with you afterwards, but no, this is not for me. But today I come prepared because I've got the expert next to me. I'm going to give you
expert?
You are the
expert. No, never that. Let's have a chat.
Outside of supporting New Zealand, which I don't know.
Don't say that loudly. We can edit that out.
Yeah.
Guys, no one needs to know that.
Support New Zealand. I'm going to say it every few minutes, so it's difficult to edit out.
Watch out for fake propaganda, guys. ENCA, News 24, and CNN and Fox. Please watch out.
Yeah, but I'm going to give you some interesting stats.
Let's hit.
Which I know you know. So, SA, only team in history to lose a pool game and win the World Cup in 2019.
Yeah, they lost against New Zealand.
Yes, and then they won.
I'm not saying I support New Zealand.
And then they won. Okay. Also does not lose in the finals. We've never lost in the finals.
Correct.
Okay. So here's my prediction. So quarterfinals, SA, Ireland, New Zealand, your team, France, Wales, England, Fiji, and Argentina. Okay. So SA being my team.
No, man. When is this coming out? We need to give people like full...
Friday. So it's going to be out before...
I had a lekker...
Oh, shit. Okay.
But please carry on. I wanted to like tell people the times, which teams are playing. Okay. I don't know if you have that.
I don't, but what I do have is if SA wins this weekend against France, they win the World Cup. I've got that. If SA wins this weekend against France, they win the World Cup. Okay, that's what I wanted to say.
Here it is. Here. What's this thing doing?
If Ireland also win, they have a chance.
Oh, they just have a chance.
Yeah, they have a chance.
But if the Boks beat France,
no chance. I mean, I'm just talking historical data here.
Oh, not your opinion.
No, it's just a fact.
Huh?
Yeah, based on history. You're a history guy. I came confident because you always bully me on the rugby conversation. I said, I shall not be bullied today. I'm ready for you.
Steve Kompela says stats are like a bikini.
Stats are like a bikini.
He says stats are like a bikini. They show everything but not the vital parts.
Stats are like a bikini. I like it.
South Africa's never lost in a final, so you'd need to ask how many finals. So it's interesting that you raised that thing of the pool games because New Zealand lost against France.
Yes.
South Africa lost against Ireland.
Yes. So
South Africa's confidence is we've done this before. We've lost in the pool games against a favorite, we've gotten to win.
Yeah.
And they're the only team to have done it.
Yes.
Someone said this to me.
In history, ever. New Zealand's never done it before.
Get out of here, in history, ever. People act like they were playing rugby back in the caves. you know, I was discussing this with someone, and one of the things I said was, South Africa never got to replay New Zealand. So you almost... Because what's going to happen in these quarterfinals... Oh, no, let's go back. Rugby World Cup quarterfinals are upon us. Saturday, the 14th of October, we have Wales versus Argentina at 5 p.m. Wales versus Argentina.
Who tags that one?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Saturday at 9 p.m. I don't know why France loves 9 o'clock games. Ever. The latest games we know is 7 p.m. Ireland versus New Zealand. It's going to be a cracker. Then Sunday, the 15th of October at 5 p.m., we've got England versus Fiji. Fiji is so annoying. And then at 9 p.m., it's like all the Springbok games at 9 p.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah.
9 p.m., France versus South Africa, another humdinger. And by Sunday, we'll know what's happened the day before.
Yes.
So I need people to know that. Interesting stats for people to know is on the one leg of the quarterfinals, which is very upsetting, and this is now the luck of the lottery ball or the misluck, the top 4 teams are playing against each other.
Yeah.
The top 4 teams in the world. Number 1 is Ireland.
Yes.
Number 2 is France.
France, yes.
Number 3 is the Springboks. Number 4 is New Zealand.
Yeah.
They all murdering each other over the weekend. And the sad thing is 2 of the top 4 teams will not be in the semis. Never mind the finals. They will not be in the semis.
Yeah.
That is messed up. The other quarterfinals are number 6 to number 9. Fiji's now dropped to number 10. Like the puppest teams in the fucking top 10 are playing each other, and 2 of them are guaranteed to be in the semis. And in the semis, anything can happen. You've got these pup weak teams now who are going to be playing guys that will be coming out of war. Like
Essentially,
Ireland, Springboks, France, New Zealand. They're going to kill each other. And then these other pup guys are going to find wounded. If ever those guys beat these guys, it's going to be like, but they were soft. But anyways, I just wanted to say that the quarterfinals are coming up, and I think a lot of us are excited. You want to know my predictions?
Yes.
Argentina almost lost to Japan. I almost put money on that game because everyone was like, Argentina's going to win. I'm like, do you guys know Japan? And the game got very tight at some point. So Argentina just beat Japan. They had the same points going into their last game. Argentina's not looking great.
Not. So
Wales has won all their games. I think they're one of a couple of teams that have won all their games. Wales has won all their games. Wales has given South Africa a tough time in the playoffs twice. In the last World Cup, Wales almost won.
Yes.
So you should never, ever count out the Welsh, even though they sing very well. And because guys sing very well, you think they're a bit soft. But, all the Jones from Wales. But I think Wales should win this one.
Okay.
Maybe Argentina, because they love crying during their anthems. They love crying. The Argentines. Maybe they'll pull something. But I'm going with Wales. They should win it. I think they were the strongest. I think they're the strongest team of the
weaklings.
Leg. Yeah. It's so sad for Scotland.
Teams.
So Scotland is the number 5 team. I spoke about the top 4 and then number 6 to 9, 10. Scotland lost out because they were in the wrong side of the pools. Like literally, they were in the pool with Ireland and South Africa. So
the Warriors.
Yeah. Because Scotland is the 5th best team based on rankings. They can beat all the other 4 teams on the other side of the quarters. Anyways, sorry to the Scottish. I found out that this is Sparta. Gerard Butler is Scottish.
Is he Scottish?
Yeah. So
Okay.
he made a video saying, this is Scotland. And guys were playing it after Scotland lost. Jeez, that's not lekker. I don't want to speak about Ireland and New Zealand. England and Fiji, if the world is fair, England should whip Fiji. Fiji is so disappointing. They had a tough game against Georgia. And then they lost to Portugal. Oh, shout out to the Portuguese.
Yes.
Very emotional. But geez, that was embarrassing for Fiji. So Fiji, seemingly, I don't know, man. They become these monsters when they play a tier 1 nation. And then they become these puppies when they play tier 2. So maybe they'll rise to the occasion with England. Because everyone was waiting for this game. I don't know if Fiji won. They beat England recently before the World Cup, if I'm not mistaken. Or it was a tight game. So people were waiting for this matchup. Fiji doesn't have a kicking game. I think if George Ford has got his kicking boots on, they can probably beat them just with drop kicks. And Fiji's strategy is just weak, man. If they're not bulldozing guys, if they're not getting some special moments to score, they're not that solid.
Okay.
So in a fair world, Manu Tuilagi, Lawson, their captain, Itoje, George Ford, amazing guys. I'm hoping that England wins. And look, they've kind of not really been tested. So we'll see how good they are going into the semis. But my money would be on England. Fiji's just been disappointing. But on that note, I need to mention that Joshua Tuisova, one of the stars of Fiji, the number 12, built like a machine.
Like a tank.
Oh, please go and Google Joshua Tuisova. And then after Googling, go to YouTube and look at the damage that guy causes. He very sadly lost his 7-year-old son just before their game. Not now with Portugal, the game before that against Georgia.
What happened?
His son had been battling an illness.
Oh, shit.
He found out just before the game and he chose to not go and bury his son, which I don't support, but that's just my personal beliefs. Maybe he believes that in memory of his son, he's going to play, So he went to play against Portugal, which they sadly lost. But he lost his 7-year-old son, and he's still carrying on to play. So just our sympathies and condolences to Joshua, the Tuisova family, and all the Fijians as well who stand in solid. No one wants that. I mean, you get injured on the field. Antoine Dupont, one of the Namibian players, bad injuries, but that's you playing. And, but like losing a child, no one in the world ever wishes for that. So our sympathies for that. Ireland, New Zealand, France, South Africa. I think this is your chance to chat before I give my 2 cents.
Well, I'm all in. Is
that patriotism?
That's just that I'm going on historical data, what we've done before.
No, don't do that. I don't want your pop stats and data.
I
want to know, do you really believe the Springboks are going to win?
100%.
Based on what? Don't tell me about stats and data. You've been watching the games?
Yes.
Okay.
In our first discussion, we spoke of the Springboks and the selection of the squad and the captain and the nation behind and the togetherness of everybody amongst all the cuck we have here at the moment. I think there's a force of nature behind them in this World Cup that is unstoppable. I think we've got a small company. We 150, 60 people on a Friday.
Jeez, is that a small company?
It's a small company. We're planning to build a big company. So
snap.
We're trying our best. Just to see the camaraderie, just to see the way that people elevate the Springboks. Vince, just before we started speaking, mentioned the uncle. Sia walks out of the airport. The uncle with a beer says, "Yeah!" And then the 700 people that descend upon him and his family. And you mentioned something that either he's very trained how to be this way, or it's just going over his head.
Yeah,
that he's actually
he doesn't connect to what's happening.
He's actually an idol in our country currently. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is. It's that something you can't put your finger on with this team. I believe in the timing that the Springboks are unstoppable. No one can stop them. Not from here on.
And you said if they beat France, the World Cup is theirs.
It's done.
They're going to bulldoze in the semis. They might meet Wales again.
That's fine. I think they will. Honestly, I think they will. But if they beat France...
I don't even know if they're playing Wales again. I'm not sure how the matchups are for the semis.
If they beat France in France, and France is good.
They're the number 2 country in the world.
They're very good. They're playing very well. The amount of confidence in that team is just going to be...
Will they not be trained?
No.
We lost Malcolm Marx. We lost Magazole Mapimpi. Do you not think we might lose some key guys in this game?
No. I think the ability to lead, our leader is what separates us from the rest.
Which leader?
Sia.
It can't just be Sia. You know the leadership at the box, Sia being at the front. Rassi, Jacques, Eben, Dwayne. There's amazing leaders next to Sia.
No problem. I hear you. And they all play a part. But when that whistle goes, and you bleeding here with me, and your name is Sia, and I can see you're giving 100%.
Yeah.
And you are elevated above everybody else.
Sure.
By the media, by what I've seen every day. You show up early, you out-train, you play injured, you make magic, you sweat, you cry. I'm going to give you 400%.
Sia's an amazing leader, man.
Yeah.
Like, he came back very early from injury. We didn't think he was going to play well. Yeah. He was crazy. You know, I thought after the last World Cup, this thing of being a celebrity was going to go to his head. I really did. Signed by Rock Nation. He's meeting international sportsmen. He's an ambassador of every other product in this country. Yeah, I was like, you know what?
Whenever you go on IG, it's just Mercedes and...
He's not going to show up at practice. He's going to be like, guys, look, I had to shoot an ad. I had to show you like, okay, he's become... I thought he was going to drop and young kids were going to kick him out of his position. the guy literally leads from the front, and it's been special. It's been really, really special to see. And I think it's one of the things about rugby players people don't know: the humility. All real rugby players are not about flash. I mean, you could listen to someone who's a flashy player like Cheslin Colby, because when he's on the field, he dances around everyone. But if you listen to him in interviews, the humility and the focus on family and spirituality, like, yeah, it's. I'm so glad it never got to his head.
So
It makes me very happy.
So on Rassie and
Coach Jacques, they call him Coach Jacques in
and on
press releases, press conferences.
on the influence they have, it takes many people to build a championship team. I agree.
Yeah.
And everybody's as important. No problem. I agree. I walk that walk. Viva. A leader that can show the team, I'm all in. I will put my body through anything. I don't care. If I get injured and I'm out, I'm going to give my best.
Yeah.
At the time when it's most required is inspiring. More than a coach can. Because a coach tells you, you can do this. You can do this. If you do this, a leader like Sia says, I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to show you. This is what we're doing.
2 quick questions. The first one being, who's your money on between Ireland and New Zealand? And do you play Manny Libbok or Henry Pollard 10? The first question is much easier. The second one is hard.
I'm going to answer the first one. Please answer the second one. You have more insight and you have...
No.
Please. I'll answer the second one. You'll be able to give a more educated answer
so
because the first one is an easy answer. I'm going to offend you and I'm going to say New Zealand loses because they've just been bashed.
Yeah.
And I think they've been demoralized more. I'm not doubting their ability to win the World Cup. They have the talent, they've got the skill. I don't think they've got the spirit this World Cup.
Currently.
Yeah.
So what happened with New Zealand is they got to play some easier teams and gave them hidings.
Yeah.
Uruguay and Namibia.
So this is how a New Zealand supporter speaks, by the way, to everybody out there. So this is the yeah but. Okay, yeah but moment. I told you I came prepared today. Yeah but. How's he not allowed to cut this?
Go Boca. My brother is a diehard New Zealand fan. He's emotional. He doesn't talk to anyone when New Zealand loses. He hates Springboks supporters. When Springboks win, he switches off his phone. My brother said New Zealand hasn't even gone into gear 3 yet. And he's like, if New Zealand go into gear 3 and 4 in this World Cup, which is arguably why many Springbok supporters didn't want to play New Zealand in the quarters. It was almost a fear of sorts. It's like, if they're the number 4th team, why would you want to play the number 1? You as the Springboks want to play New Zealand because they're weaker. You know, South Africa lost to Ireland. Anyways, so my brother reckons that New Zealand is going to shift gears because he's a diehard fan.
But when
officially
in October, November, when are they going to shift the gears? Which month?
I'm just
asking for a friend.
June. They'll shift gears when they get back home after. No, New Zealand has got special players that can turn it up at any point. And that's the reason why they are feared. Ireland is a sensational team right now, led by Johnny Sexton. Zabali now is 38 at number 10, but I'm
38.
Oh.
That's why I cut my hair short so the grays don't come out here. You can't see it. And if you do, it's the light. It's just here. The light is here.
In sports terms, 38 is old. Johnny Sexton is amazing. Is it Van der Veer? One of the flanks. They are an amazing team. And that's why they're actually so difficult to beat. And they can adjust, which is something that is very rare. When they played against the Boks, their breakdown, the way they were at the breakdowns is how we know the Springboks to be.
Yeah.
The way they secure, the way they, So Ireland is sensational, and that's the reason they're the number 1 team in the world. In the past, because I think in the last World Cup, they were one of the favorites. They choke.
They choke.
So a lot of people worry about them choking, but New Zealand has also choked in the past. Because New Zealand normally between World Cups is like the number 1 team in the world.
Yeah.
They've choked. Based on the team, based on what we've seen, it should be very difficult, but Ireland should win.
Okay. Oh,
If-
wow.
If
An honest prediction. Okay.
No, Ireland should win the World Cup. To be honest, Ireland and France
Win
should
the
be in the
World
World Cup.
Cup.
Ireland and France should be in the final. France because they're at home and they're the second best team. Ireland because they're the best team in the world.
Remember what happened in 2010.
No, I hear you. I'm just saying on paper, this is
Okay.
what should happen. And it's in Europe. Many people would like the World Cup to go to Northern Hemisphere teams for a change. Shame, share it a little bit. If Ardie Savia turns it up, if Brodie Retallick and Scott Barrett turn it up, if Aaron Smith is in sensational form, if Bowden Barrett has got his jet shoes on, if Richie Mo'unga's boot and his game is on song, if those guys are on form, there is no team in the world. But if they play this mediocre rugby they've been playing now, the top 3 teams can't beat them, which they've proven.
Yeah.
Springboks, France, Ireland.
Ireland can beat them.
So Ireland should win. And if Ireland loses, a lot of people are going to be very sad. Sadly, like a lot of Europeans are going to be very, very sad. And New Zealand will go in saying, look, we are the All Blacks, the most successful sports franchise of all time. So for the benefit of world rugby, I would love for Ireland to win.
Okay.
As an All Blacks fan, it would be great for New Zealand to win if they outplay Ireland. Not because Ireland loses, but because the All Blacks win.
Outplay them.
If they outplay them. But for the benefit of world rugby, I'd love for Ireland to go all the way to the finals, and then we see from there. France and South Africa, so Intermac, Dupont, I think they're the best halfbacks in the world. Intermac got injured before the World Cup. Antoine Dupont fractured his face. He's been cleared, I think, to train. I'm not sure to play now. And even if he plays, you're playing against the Springboks who are very physical. Do you want to take that chance? I'm not really sure. But you spoke about Sia and dying on the field. Maybe Dupont's going to be like, I also want to die on the field. Give me a chance. He is currently the best rugby player in the world. And it's being played in France. They want their golden boy there. The whole of the Northern Hemisphere wants their golden boy there. The whole of world rugby. If France is going to lose to the Springboks, they're like, even if he's injured and even if he plays 15 minutes, we want Antoine to be there. We want him to be a part of that history where they lost. Or if they win, we want our golden boy to be there, to be one of the people that beat the Springboks, the defending champions. Because the Springboks are the defending champions currently. Based on form, I think it is really tough. To be fully honest, I think it is really tough. But France with a fully fit Antoine Dupont is marginally better than the Springboks. Marginally better. If he's injured and not really in form, I don't know how strong France is without him. Brilliant with the boot. Brilliant. Really great team, and they dazzle. They play with flair. But like you said, the Springboks are a force of nature. And we don't know who's going to be starting. They've shown now 7-1. We've got a second team that's not really a second team. We can take a scrum off and put him on wing, and now all of a sudden is Williams better than Arendse. We lost Magazole Mapimpi, so sad, but then we brought in Lukhanyo. You're like, no, man. Malcolm Marx goes home, Dion Fourie starts a game, he becomes man of the match. You're like, this is not fair.
We've got depth.
This is not fair. We've got depth. So I'm not sure. Do you start money over Handré Pollard? So right now, we don't know if Lukhanyo Am's going to play any of the games. Because the first team, as far as we know, is Damien Dialende at 12 and Jesse Kriel at 13. Even though on form, Andre Esterhuizen and Keenan Moody are better. But our starting centers are those guys.
The strategy. Okay.
Lukhanyo Am has been the best 13 in the world. Never mind for the Springboks. Do you take him out of injury and you kill loyalty and consistency and start him ahead of Jesse Kriel and even Moody? Now, that's tough because now the team is going to be like, but coach, we've been playing with these guys. But now, do you put on the bench when there isn't space for backline guys on the bench? You want forwards on the bench, maybe a 7-1.
Yeah.
If not a 7-1, maybe a 6-2. If it's a 7-1, who do you put as the backline? Is it a scrum off, Kobus Reinach? Or do you put Handré Pollard or Mani Libbok? If it's a 6-2, okay, now we can maybe put Mani or Handré and then maybe a scrum off.
Yeah.
So it becomes tough. Now the debate becomes the game that you want to play against France, do you want to play an open game, scoring tries? By all means, Manie Libbok. By far the better open play fly half. By far. Everyone knows he's been the informed fly half in South Africa for the past 2 years. Not as secure with the boot, sadly. If you're playing a tight game, we don't really know if Pollard is as reliable with the boot. We know he has been in the past, and especially in the last World Cup final against England. He was on song, boy. So if it's going to be a tight game, kicking, poles, you're going to be like Andre, because we're planning to play a tight game. Then Manie maybe comes off the bench. Once we've bruised and battered them, he's going to come and dance around and feed the guys outside, and we're going to murder them with tries, which happened in the last final with England, where Colby and Mapimpi were scoring because Pollard just kept applying the pressure. Owen Farrell tried to match it up, but we were just better. And then once we murdered them, So if we're planning to start with Flash, start Manie, you put Andre on, so that if it becomes a tight game, you like take Manie off, put Pollard to kick. Manie also looks like the Pollard pressure is helping him, because now all of a sudden he's kicking well.
Yeah.
So we like having that. Because of, again, consistency and team loyalty, you'd want to start Manie because he's been the first choice 10. Misses one kick, misses 2 kicks, take him off. Slotting the kicks, keep him on.
I like it.
And then have Andre on backup. But if he misses 2 kicks,
take him off.
Take him off. But start the starting. He's the guy that's been starting. He's the informed 10 besides the kicking boot. For the benefit of World Rugby, the top 2 nations in the world, Ireland and France, should beat the kings of the Southern Hemisphere, so that everyone can kind of be like, okay, the Northern Hemisphere might get this. If the world still wants to play games with us and our emotions, one Northern Hemisphere team will win, one will lose. If the world is like, fuck Northern Hemisphere and the colonizers, we want the South to win, then look, the Springboks and New Zealand are like, look, this is why we've been the best for so long. If I had to put money, I'm putting money on Ireland to beat New Zealand based on form. And I'm putting money on France to beat the Springboks based on home ground advantage, passion, and injured Antoine Dupont wanting to make history for his nation. France has gotten close in the past. There was a time when they slayed the All Blacks. For guys like Freddie Michalak, Rougerie, Yashvili, and all the legends, I know they're going to be there. They're going to be hitting their French, boy, and being like, whatever it takes, we're here. You're at home. Do it for our home. So, geez, that's going to be tough.
Can't wait.
Put money on France. Put money on Ireland. On the other side, I think we've already spoken, Wales and England. And yeah, let's see how it goes from there.
So all my money on All Blacks. I'm joking. The Springboks. And if they lose Sunday, I won't be able to watch the rest of the games because I'll smash my TV.
Bobby, thank you very much. Guys, please enjoy the quarterfinals. Let's watch the game in good spirits, man. For the benefit of rugby. If you and your dad are fighting each other, don't get too sour. Buy the guy a beer or get him some biltong if his team loses. But it's all for the love of the game.
Go see ya.